My name is Peter Sakai. I'm the county judge of Bear County. I am very proud to be a Japanese American. I would be considered a Nikkei Sansei, which means third generation Japanese American. My parents were born in the United States, but more importantly, my grandparents immigrated from Japan to the United States. And so when they came over in the early 1900s, my mother's parents, my maternal grandparents, came through the West Coast at Seattle and San Francisco, ultimately settled in South Texas along the Rio Grande Valley, which is along the border of Mexico. And that's where my mother was born, and that's where I was born. My father's parents, my paternal grandparents, came in through San Francisco a bit later in the 1900s and settled in the Imperial Valley of Southern California along the California-Mexico border. They were farmers down in Southern California. At the onset of World War II, an unfortunate circumstance took place. Executive Order 9066 was signed and executed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, ordered the internment of all Japanese and Japanese Americans along the West Coast. My father's family, when my father was a teenager in high school, was ordered to go to an internment camp in a place called Poston, Arizona. The unfortunate circumstance was that my father's family and my father were treated and were not respected for their constitutional rights. And it was an experience my father wanted to make sure that I understood as a young man growing up too, as a teenager in South Texas. In fact, he took me to that internment camp when I was in high school. And so later on, I went to the University of Texas at Austin and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Doctorate of Jurisprudence, a law degree. And so I started my journey as an attorney. I later became a judge. I then have just recently been elected to be the county judge of Bear County, which is similar to being the chief executive officer. Although I'm called a judge, I'm not a judge of a court, so to speak. Bear County is where the city of San Antonio exists, and city and county are separate governments, which, by the way, I'm proud to say that San Antonio and Bear County, I believe, is the only major metropolitan area in the United States that have both an Asian American county judge, a Japanese American, and an Asian American mayor in Mayor Ron Nirenberg, whose mother is Filipino. And so that speaks to the diversity of my community. And one of my principles is, as county judge, is to take the same principles that I was as a district court judge. I want to always follow the rule of law. I want to respect at all times the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Texas and all the laws. And so rule of law means we should not be persuaded by popular opinion or what people would want elected officials to do, but to always respect the law, to avoid the circumstances that my father experienced while he was in internment camp, which was to lose his constitutional rights, not because he was an enemy of the United States, not because he was somebody that should be considered a threat. His rights were taken away solely because he was a Japanese American. And so as a county judge, I want to make sure that we never get influenced by those situations. I am proud to be a Japanese American, a Nikkei Sansei. I am proud to be here in Japan to represent Bear County. I hope that the people in Japan recognize that they have somebody that understands the culture, the principles that are very important to Japan, and that somebody that understands that I'm here in my first, second year of being county judge to establish a relationship.